Hello, welcome to Begin Academy. Today we'll start off with process costing. Now what is process costing? This is a method of costing which is used in industries where the production moves from one process to another process. That is, raw materials will be passed and this raw materials has to be passed through each of the process in order to get the finished products. So that is what we mean here. And example for this could be textile industry or oil refineries. These are the examples of process costing. Now look here, what is happening? First, raw materials will be passed and this raw material will be passed on to process 1. The finished product, whatever it is in process 1, will become the raw material of process 2. From process 2, it will be passed to process 3 and then finally we will get the finished product. For example, if we take oil refinery as an example, for example, let's say you are a manufacturer of a coconut oil. Now what will happen? There are 3 different processes in case of oil refineries. So first one will be crushing and the second one will be crushing and the second one is refining and the third one is nothing but the finishing. Now what will happen? What is the raw material that I am sending here? For example, if I am manufacturing a coconut oil, the raw material is coconut. In process 1, it is crushing. What will happen? You will put the coconut into a machine. It will be crushed. After that, the second process will be refined. So the crushed coconut has to be refined in order to get oil and also in order to remove wastage. And finally it will be finished, which is in process 3. Finished in the sense, if in case you are manufacturing the coconut oil in terms of bottles or in terms of packets, then that will happen in process 3 and ultimately you will get the finished products, which is nothing but the packed coconut oil that is going to be the finished product. So this is how the process costing will go about happening. But what we are concerned in this case of process costing is that how do we value this cost associated with this process is what we are going to look at. See, these are the main things that is required in order to do our process costing. And process costing, it's similar to P&L account. All the expenses will appear on the debit side and all the incomes will appear on the credit side. Just keep in mind. Okay. Now in process costing, these are the 3 different things that is required. One is nothing but the normal wastage. See, normal wastage is nothing but which is unavoidable. Like, see, this is the amount of loss which is unavoidable, which means you cannot avoid it. For example, if in case you are a biscuit manufacturing company, usually if you visit some factories like Parle-G factory, you can see that the biscuits will be passed and at the end some of the biscuits will be overcooked or undercooked. Such biscuits will be removed anyways at the end. That is known as normal waste. Okay, and which you cannot avoid it. And the next we have is abnormal waste. Abnormal waste is nothing but which will arise due to unforeseen factors. For example, suddenly there is a breakage of machinery or there is fire, then that is considered to be abnormal waste. See, abnormal waste, this arises due to some unforeseen factors. And then we have abnormal gain. See, in abnormal gain, this is nothing but the excess of actual output over the normal output expected. Which means when you will get abnormal gain in this sense, see, I am expecting some loss. So I am expecting, okay, this amount of loss will happen. But when that loss is considered lesser, or the loss which has happened is less when compared to your regular output, then it is considered to be abnormal gain. No? See, these are the formulas to calculate abnormal loss, gain and normal cost. See, how do you calculate abnormal loss? Your normal cost divided by normal output into abnormal loss units will give you abnormal loss. And then we have abnormal gain. How do we calculate abnormal gain? Normal cost divided by normal output into abnormal gain units. Now usually this abnormal loss units and abnormal gain units, depending on the problem or the situation that they have given, we need to find out. But how do we calculate the normal cost? Look here. Normal cost is nothing but total debit value minus normal loss value. Total debit value in the sense, I have already mentioned that all the expenses will appear on the debit side. Total debit value is nothing but the expenses minus your normal loss will give you the normal cost. That is normal cost. Now how do we find out this normal output? Your input units. Input units is nothing but the raw materials that you have introduced in order to manufacture a product. Input units minus the normal loss units will actually give you the normal output. So now these are the things that you need to keep in mind in order for solving problems under process costing. Rest everything will fall in the place like the expenses and the incomes. So and that concludes this video. So in the next video we will start solving problems on process costing. So if you are watching my channel for the first time, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click on the bell icon to receive further updates.